that's the only thing that is keeping me to watch this, because I just want to see Jin Young at this point. And are we gonna get something spicy with Jin Young, like how we did?
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Make my face go red. Stop.
Oops.
The curse of being white. Okay, welcome back to part 2 of our drama discussion. We are going to start off strong here and talk about 25-21.
Lots of feels. I binged this the entire week because Roxy watched it before me, and since I was stuck in isolation for COVID, I was like, might as well. Let's just go. Let's do it. And I cried.
Yes, I watched this drama because I am in love with Nam Joo-hyuk, so I have to watch anything that he's in, and I regret it a lot because it made me feel things I never wanted to feel.
Yeah, I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like, partially, like, I liked it. Like, don't get me wrong, I liked it. But man, it hurt. It hurt to watch because it's just like, technically, yes, happy ending-ish, but it's still like,
not the happy ending I wanted, bro.
Not the happy ending I wanted either. And
like, they tell it to you like at the very beginning of the drama, because it's told in like a flashback way. So yeah. The drama's introduced, it starts in 2020, and it is the main character's child that is in the first scene. So most of the drama just shows her essentially reading her mother's journal and living the story that way. And so it is set in the 90s, which I thought was interesting.
Right. Because I'm just like, man, we had this type of shit in the 90s again. Like it kind of called back to like, man, I forgot how things were back then, like the beepers and everything. And I'm like, and the thick cell phones. I'm like, oh,
and having to go to like a video rental shop.
Right. And then like the big computer desktops. Right. And I'm just like, I mean, I know we were born in the 90s, but like we still got remnants of that, especially when the new millennium came in and everything. It was just like, we were around for that. So it was just like, oh, this is weird. This is so weird to like see it set in the 90s like this. But before we get into the drama, his red Mustang? Really? I was just like, where did they even get a red Mustang in Korea to do this? I'm like, damn, that's an old car. That's a very old car.
Yeah, I was a little unsure of the dynamic because Nam Joo-hyuk's character is like 4+ years older than all the other characters. It is 4 years because the 25-21. The title is essentially when
it's where they end up at the end in terms of their stories. Yeah. So
their ages. So some people were upset about it because the lead girl at the start of the drama is underage. But there's no like, I don't want to say there's no romance, but there's no like physical type of things that happen. And a lot of the drama, his character is like pushing that away as much as he can.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it just comes from the translation of it also. I mean, there were some strong words that were used to describe like how he felt about her, but it was kind of coming from a place of it's platonic, and then it turned into something romantic for it. And by the time we got any real substance between the two of them, I mean, she was older at that point. It wasn't like she was, still like she was just getting out of high school, and she's just turning into her career at this point.
at the start of it, she's 17, international age, I believe, but
Mm-hmm.
it goes through a period of time. I think it's 2 years at least.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't actually like start dating until she's 20, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But there is some sort of like confusion on feelings going on.
Yeah. Like
around 18, 19.
Yeah.
It does start where it's like a very platonic sort of like close friendship.
Yeah.
And I think she develops feelings first. So
I think so too. Yeah. Like I think it was definitely her, but she didn't kind of know that she was having these romantic feelings. Like she knew she liked him, but it was just like it was that flip of the switch of something changed, and she's like, "Oh, I do have these feelings." And I think same for him too. It was just like, I like hanging out with this girl. I think she's funny. She does give me encouragement and everything like that. But it's like it didn't turn romantic right away either. So I was just like, okay, at least it was a slow burn, yes, but it wasn't a slow burn that was like, fuck, like hurry up and like just kiss, like where it's not like that kind of slow burn. It was a different slow burn where you got to actually see them really turn from friends to lovers in that case. So I really liked it. It was a good coming of age story, not gonna lie. Like, take away the romance, like her growth throughout the story was like fun to watch. I personally liked the friendship between her and Go Yurim, her best friend. That I think is what made me really like the drama, and I cried more for them than I cried for the main couple, to be honest.
I think one thing that made me cry like super hard is there's a scene where what was his name?
Becky Jin?
Yijin. Essentially, Yijin's from a family where his dad, like, they were like a super wealthy family, and his dad lost all the money and
Yeah.
like ran off. So his family splintered. So he's like at the start, what is he, like 20?
Kind of, yeah.
2021.
He was, yeah.
Where he's like living on his own and he barely can make it. And there are like loan sharks, busting down his door, and people like screaming at him, like, your dad owes me money, take responsibility. And he's just standing there like sobbing. I was so upset seeing that. I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, his character was really like, you felt bad. You felt bad seeing his situation, and he's just like, or the one line, and they called back to it towards the end, you don't deserve to be happy, from like happiness isn't for you. And he's like, yes, you're right, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, that's what like broke me.
And I was just like, oh, that sucks. This actually sucks. And you see that these kids are like, struggling through it too, because also, her, like, what's her name? Hido is her name. You see what happened to the economy take away her dreams of being, the star fencer at her school. She does some questionable things just to get back into the club she wanted to get into, to be with Go Yirim, but it was just like they were desperate at the time. I think everybody was just desperate to get something done. And my heart also broke for Go Yirim's family situation too. Like, it happened to her family, and now, she had to sacrifice, and she had to take, the fall for, like, I was this country's darling in terms of fencing, and here I have to go off to a different country and represent a different country because I need the money. And it was just really sad to see, but there were a lot of good moments from them. Again, my favorite part is the friendship between Hido and Yurim. You get to, like, that one's the in some ways not like romantic lovers, but platonic lovers, friends to lovers, seeing, or enemies to friends happen. I think it was real, like, when it when they realized it was just like, yay, but did you
Yeah.
at first think the person who Hito was talking to in Injomi was Nam Joo-hyuk at first?
I did. Yes,
so did
I did.
I was just like, no,
because it's like it's very nostalgic because they're in like a 90s chat room, right?
Yeah,
you know, back in the time when you did like AOL AIM chat rooms.
Yeah,
like
it was not even then yet. It was just a
No.
blue screen.
Yeah, it was before that. So initially they just tease someone else talking to her on the other side, and I think they do make you want to think it's Yijin. But then it's later revealed to be Go Yurim. So they like hate each other, except they're like best friends on the internet. And once they realize, like, Yurim doesn't really want to believe it at first, and like tries to make it look like it's Yijin.
Yeah.
But eventually they become like really good friends, and it is very cute.
And it's just satisfying to also see them fence together. Like, you got their very first bout, and you know, it brought up the controversy of, oh, she stole the gold medal. And then two, here they are representing different countries at the Olympics, and you know, it's a hard thing, and they were pit against each other again. And it was just like, when they had that last match, tears, absolute tears of just like, oh, this, like, I mean, she achieved her dreams. Like, she wanted to be her rival and beat her, and she did. And I was just like, oh my god. And yeah, like I said, their friendship is probably the one thing that would make me return back to this drama if I wanted to, but I don't think I want to go back to this circle like this
I don't think I could do it, just because everything is so emotional, and like there are moments that are so sad. They're just like so heartbreaking. And like I can't count the amount of times that I just was like sitting at my desk crying while I was watching this. Like,
and it was, I think this is where, like, what it wasn't like in Business Proposal, it was very like slice of life, like really you could see like this can happen to her, you know, at its time period. So like it felt very, very real. And like I wasn't even expecting them to bring up 9/11.
Yeah, that was just I don't know how they work that in. I'll be honest. I don't know how they work that in. But
it took me for a loop. I was just like, oh shit.
That just makes it worse. That just makes it even more
right.
sad, like, and terrible.
Like, oh my god, how, like, the fact that they brought this up, because he becomes a he took odd jobs, but then he becomes a reporter for a very popular broadcasting station, which is also Hito's mom's main news station. And then he works his way up being a correspondent, and then eventually the news anchor at the company. But like when he becomes a correspondent and goes to New York, I was just like, oh shit. It didn't really click until like seconds before, like, oh, their anniversary is on and they're like, oh, let's go in September. And then it was just like, September 11th is that. Oh my god, how did they do this? Why did they do this?
I know, it just makes it so much more terrible. And like, yeah, to me it's not a happy ending, because I like it when, you know, the main characters end up together, which, you know, that's just because, like, to me, just like being alive can be depressing enough. Like, can't we just have our stories be happy? Like, can't I just have like drama, but it ends up happy, because like we know in real life that doesn't always happen, but I don't need a reminder of that when I am watching entertainment. So I was very upset that they did not like end up together. But like, you knew, and you knew because of the kid. And I didn't like that either. I was just,
low-key was kind of hoping, like, did they have a kid? But they're just, you know, like hoping secretly. He's just not in the picture right now because of his career, just like her mom, you know. I was like, low-key to the very end, I was like, who is your dad? You know,
I don't think they ever say.
No, they don't.
Or they just allude to it, like, she got married or something.
to another dude. And like, and I think that's what hurt too, because it's just like, you know, that they really loved each other. Like, even at the end, you knew that they loved each other. It was just kind of right person, wrong time situation. But I'm like, y'all could have made it work just a little bit, like, honestly, because she was gonna eventually retire, you know. So it was just like, I was kind of low-key hoping, like, when she pulled up to the tunnel at the end as her older self, he would be on the other end.
Yeah.
But no,
you can't get happiness with this. No. With this drama, you don't get happiness.
No, all the other characters, the friends, got decently happy endings, and then this, and I was just like, oh, why?
That does, like, I really, like, I enjoyed watching the story, but I can't go back because it was heartbreaking. Yeah. Not in like a scarring way like other things I've seen, but just like, I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah. It for what it's worth, yes, it's a good drama. Like, it's really good, but there's a lot of like moments. It's very emotional that you're just like, yeah, it might take me a while to ever come back to this ever again. But like, their whole friendship, regardless, you know, of the sad points, I think that's what was, you know, the standout. It was the friendship that all 5 of them had, but it was, at the same time, it was still about Hido and her dreams. And, you know, the parallel is that, you know, the daughter didn't want it. The daughter does ballet. She lost passion for it. And I mean, it parallels her because she loved fencing, but her dad passed away that made her not enjoy it anymore. And so at the end, her story inspires the daughter to get back into what she knows that she loves, which I can see that, but still not the ending that we wanted.
No.
And how they still technically, at the end, when they meet at the tunnel, at the end, they're still saying goodbye to each other and goodbye to that memory. So it's just like,
sad. I don't want this.
Yeah, like, no, does not want. I wanted happy ending get together. Like, as soon as he said, like, when she was it San Francisco, right? San Francisco was her last tournament. Or like, yeah, the last tournament, and he says, congratulations on your marriage. I'm like, no, they didn't end up together.
I know. Yeah, I think that kind of sums up the thoughts on it, to be honest.
Yes, it's good, but man, it's emotional damage for sure.
Okay, let's go to the last one, because I know we have a lot that we can say about it. So the last drama we're going to talk about is season 1 of Yumi Cells, which is very topical since the 2nd season is currently going on. And
I don't see. Okay, this is where, so when we were discussing this, we're like, oh, what dramas are we gonna watch? Roxy recommended 25-21 to me. I said, hey, I need you to watch Yumi's Cells because I need to know your thoughts. And so I kind of pushed this one because I had extreme thoughts at the time. So if you can't tell in our faces already,
it's like, it's hard to articulate because it's not like it's like
not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I did not like An Bohyun's character at all. I thought he looked scruffy and gross. And their love story seemed weirdly forced and not natural.
Yeah, because I started watching season 2, and like thinking about it, I kind of had to remember like what had happened a little bit, and it was just like it came in like a storm. It happened so fast and so quickly that it was just like, what happened here? What happened here?
Essentially, what happens is Can I just say what absolutely threw me off? Okay, I started this drama, and in the first scene, Shiny's Minho is in her bed shirtless, and nothing prepared me for that. Like he's not in the character list. He's not like a main character. So I look and I was like, is that fucking Minho? What is going on? Why is Minho in her bed shirtless? And then it like reveals that she's dreaming and she has a crush on her coworker, which is Minho. But that doesn't work out because he's gay.
Pride month. Here we go. Hey.
So she's like all upset because she's like, I had a one-sided love. So Minho sets her up with An Bohyun. Why can't I say his name? Sets him up on a blind date, and immediately this guy is like, I'm in love with her. And she's like, I'm still sad because I am in love with a gay man. And then suddenly they're dating.
Yeah. It's just like suddenly like this, like, so, okay. Other premise of Yumi Cells. The reason why it's called Yumi Cells is because there is an aspect of animation in this show where it goes into her mindset and you see her cells at work, and each cell is different emotions and different feelings and other things that make her work as Yumi. And everybody has like one prime main cell, and unfortunately Yumi's is love, and she has no love in the beginning. Like love is stuck in a coma and not alive.
That sounds like me though. The start of her show was like, I do be a business worker with no prospects, so like I get. I just hope love isn't my primary cell.
Yeah,
if that's a thing.
So no. Like it kind of makes you think like, okay, is this what's going on inside my head? Like, but I was hoping I think it's cute that they do have the animations, but I would have preferred to see like just different copies of her and her doing, rather than, there's this type of cell and all of, different. I rather would like to see like her version of what her love is as herself, and her version of what anger is as herself, if you get what I mean. So it was just
something like, to sorry.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I found it a bit jarring where it goes from like animation to like
the real
life. Mm-hmm. And the animation part makes it feel like a kid's movie.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about like adult situations and then suddenly we switch over and we're into like the cell world, I'm like, hold on, like.
Yeah, it switches. So like, I think I wouldn't have minded if you can just hear their voices, because like as long as you can, associate the voice to the cell, you can hear it. And they do that throughout the show, but it's just like, I mean, I know they're about her cells, but they're placing too much focus on the story of what's going inside her brain rather than her in real time, what's going on. So I actually did not like the animation portion of her cells, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it was cute, but like it got old pretty quickly.
Very quickly. I think my only favorite, like if I had to really pick out of her cells who my favorite one was, is the hunger one, the food one. He's my favorite one just because he's like, Peggle-pa, give me food, and I'm like
destroying everything.
Exactly.
It's a pretty accurate representation of hunger though.
Very, very. And so like Reason is her other, like, I want to say Reason is probably the second in command to Love, but even then he gets walked all over by the other cells and emotions. So it's just like, man, this girl don't know how to make a decision for herself. I'm just like, come on. Like, come on. Go ahead.
I did see online, there were people praising like toward the end of the first season how she sort of stands up for herself.
Yeah.
But that's like the only time it happens. And I gotta say, Bohyun's character, the friend that's a girl, she sucks.
Yeah.
She sucks.
Like, that is like toxic. Red flag, wee woo, run away.
If you're that person, you're a bad person.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
and the fact that he didn't like push against it enough too was annoying.
Yeah.
He like never stood up, like called her out on her bullshit.
And it was just like, I felt like he was so robotic as a character in general, because he's like, you know, he's just like, An Bo-hyun's character is like gaming, work, must focus.
I feel like the personality they gave him was that he just dresses like
a bum.
Like a bum. That was it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, I guess like when they first met, he was telling stupid jokes because like his brain was all messed up because he was attracted to her.
And he's like, oh, I don't know how to talk to a girl anymore, you know?
Yeah. But nothing about his character was like enticing in any way.
Yeah. As like, and even then, like, I do think he looked better clean shaven. I think he did look a lot better, but like his long hair, like, I know he's a good looking dude, but I was like, ooh, no.
Yeah, it was not a good look on him. And like we've seen him in other dramas where he looks fantastic. This was not it.
I will like small minor spoil for season 2. He is in at least the first episode. He looks way better. He looks way better. Okay. So that's the only little spoiler I give. He looks way better. Thank God he looks like this now, you know, because God, he like part of it is like she's attracted to this. And I mean, maybe it's us projecting like our preferences of what we look for in a person, you know, but it was just like, really? Him? I mean, yes, good looking, but like he doesn't really dress that well. His hair was not good for his like overall face structure. He wasn't that clean per se. Even his desk was messy, you know. And his ruling, I forgot what his main emotion is for him, because they go into his cells a little bit too. And there, like, his main cell reason was kind of like there's just no communication, disconnect somewhere. And it just, them two as a couple was not it.
Yeah, like, I did not care about their relationship at all. I was like not invested whatsoever.
No.
So it was kind of hard to watch just because it's like, I know it's supposed to be about their cells making them work. So it's like less focus on like the actual relationship, but that, I don't.
Yeah. And it's even then, like, you kind of felt like her, because Yumi's primary cell is love, she makes irrational, like, love decisions. And it was just like, she really wore her heart on her sleeve for him. And like, and you kind of could tell like, oh, this is not gonna end well. Ooh.
Which is interesting because there was so much talk in the cells of how like the love cell was dead, except it's not like dead, but like wasn't like one of Bo-hyun's cells like tries to come into her cell land or whatever, and they like throw him out. Mm-hmm. Like it's supposed to show that like she's guarded, but was she really that guarded?
I don't think so. To be honest, I don't think so. I think she was just oblivious to a lot of it. And she was just like, if I can't see it, it's not there, but you know it's like right across from you, you know it's there, but you're just like choosing to like, nope, nothing's gonna happen, but it's been there and you're just denying it. So yeah, and it kind of made me hate her as like when she's in love, because like she threw all the reason out the window and did not read. Like, I'm like, girl,
that's a bad idea.
Yeah, very bad.
Everyone, don't ever do that.
No. Like, really think about the relationships that you're getting into, especially if you're older. I mean, if you're young and you're trying to figure it out, that's different, of course. Just be safe. But like, as you know, adults, we got to really think about what are we getting ourselves into, and like in
and
a
not
way,
be in love just for the sake of being in
being
love,
in
which is
love,
what this kind of felt like.
it did.
There's no like base chemistry or base reason that these two would be attracted to each other than like he's like, oh my god, she's so pretty. Like that was
oh,
like
we
it.
have a mutual friend, and it was kind of like they compromised to each other, like, oh, if I like this, I'll like it because you like it. And I'm like, no, like it's fine to like bond over things and eventually like about it, but like you mentioned, it's forced. And it was just like, but you know what I do like about this drama, and it's the only reason why I'm watching season 2.
In Young.
Jin Young.
Yeah.
It's Jin Young. I'm like, I'm only here for him at this point because listen, he is the only saving grace. And like even him, like he was going through some sort of breakup in season 1. And they become friends. And by the way, Jin Young in drag, very pretty. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm like,
not surprised though.
And I'm just like, how he has the long hair and he's like this, and I'm just like Jin Young. Yes, like I would like you to be my best friend like this. Yes, but their chemistry I liked a lot because they had somewhat something to relate to together aside from being coworkers. You know, it was kind of like she kind of gave him comfort when he was going through something, and clearly he is the main lead for season 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say he is the main lead this time, right?
I hope.
Well, I guess episode 10, which is the end of season 1, left on somewhat of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee that he is the next main lead, but
the posters say otherwise.
Yes, the posters sort of.
Yeah, all the marketing that is going in for this one it has Jin Young on the posters, and so I'm gonna assume Jin Young is gonna be the main lead, and I hope it actually ends up happy because I feel like Yumi with Bo Hyun's character. God, I don't even remember. I didn't like his character that much that I don't even remember his character name anymore. That Woong, that's his name.
Goong.
It kind of was like, okay, I'm getting back into love. I'm testing the waters of what being in love is and in a relationship again. And then I'm hoping, let's see where it ends up when the season ends, that it'll be like, I actually found my person in Jin Young. Like I needed to go through this trial so I can find this person. And I'm really hoping for that because again, the only reason why I'm watching season 2 and sticking around is just for him at this point. Because I'm just like, ugh.
I do really hope like the chemistry is better because I was bored watching the first season.
I was bored too.
And that's never good for anything. So I do just hope that like it makes more sense or gets better because like the concept is, interesting, but it's weird it's hard to get over the like animation aspect of it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're going to get more of it in season 2, of course, but we're going to see, I like his name, Jin Young's name. It's Bobby. So we're going to see Bobby's cells come into play and see how his brain thinks and how that works out for him. But other than that, I'm just like, it was like gritting teeth to get to the end of that season.
It was. And even like, what is it, the first 3 episodes or something, 2, just her like hyperfixation on Minho and the way that she was speculating about his behavior. I was like, this is so very teenager of you.
Yeah.
You're like, I know I'm old, but like at some point you don't just like be like, oh my God, is he saying that because he's gonna ask me out? You just fucking ask if he is. Like,
yeah. She's very childish when it comes to love. So it was just like, girl, you're a fucking adult. Come on. Like, I don't like this. Like, didn't like, not to say that the actress that plays her, Kim Goen, is a bad actress, you know, because I like her actually as an actress. I like her a lot. I'm just like, character.
It's the character. Yeah.
I don't. And also her haircut. What the hell?
The haircut is awful. And I don't understand why. Like,
and I think it's because it kind of, like, yes, it is supposed to be youthful, but like I think it's a representation of how she's childish. You know, it's kind of a, like, I think if they were just gonna give her bangs, they didn't have to cut it so blunt of a bob, because it really feels like, man, I used to have that haircut when I was a kid. Okay, I had that same exact haircut as a kid. Did not want to return back to that.
I don't think that haircut like looks good on anyone, to be honest.
No. Are there some people who can pull it off? Yes. But like the bangs,
it does have a very like childish sort of like aura to it, if that makes sense. Because like as an adult, if you get bangs, that usually is like you have longer hair to match the bangs, not like cutting it off. I could never have hair that short because it's so freaking curly. It would like be up here. But I just like, I don't understand.
Like I think it's the length of it, because it's like here, if you have it to here, you could pull, like, I think you could pull it off. But if you have it like up here, like it kind of makes it look childish. So I'm just like, why did they make you have this hairstyle? Why? They could have just, you know what they could have done? Just kept it like very short bob like this, one length, just kept it at that. I think she would have been fine, because she's done it before in other dramas. She looks good with it, in my opinion. But I'm just like,
I do think it was the bangs being so short that made the haircut terrible.
Yeah, it was the bangs.
Yeah.
Ugh, no, please. I mean, we're getting more of it in season 2, obviously, but no, absolutely not, girl. Like, just red flags everywhere. Get your shit together in season 2, please. But I think my only thing I'd say about this drama to people who are wanting to watch it, proceed with caution, because you might it'll either raise your blood pressure, or it's going to just be like, I don't like everything, and you might stop it in the middle because there's a lot to take in.
Honestly, I only finished it because we were going to talk about it. Otherwise, I would not have. And that's just a personal opinion, because I did look at reviews online and there were some rave reviews about this drama.
Really? What were they saying?
I don't remember exactly, but it was like, I don't know. I really don't know, because I'm just like so caught on how childish her behavior is and like how shallow the relationship is, that like I just can't see how any of it would be considered like good.
Yeah. And I like I said, I also, this, by the way, the Yumi Cell is based off another webtoon. So like I really, really want to push and hope. Like I said, I'm staying for Jin Young, and I just want to see how his story is going to play out, because I like his story particularly. And yes, sure, bias, got 7, sure, but he's also a really good actor aside from that. So that's the only thing that is keeping me to watch this, because I just want to see Jin Young at this point. And are we gonna get something spicy with Jin Young, like how we did?
Stop.
I'm just saying.
Make my face go red. Stop.
Oops.
The curse of being white.
But at the same time, like they introduced it, obviously, like, and I think that's what sucks. It's like, this is supposed to be a show for people who are our age, you know, it's for an adult perspective, but because you have the animations of her cells, it takes it down that notch. But there are mature things. Hello, like I said, there's a spicy scene that they don't fully go into it, but it, you know, it happens. And I'm just like, a teenager is not supposed to technically be watching this. Like, cover your eyes, you know, to the, like a younger person. Like, no, you're not watching this. Hell no. But they're trying to make it relatable to adults, but at the same time, it with the animation and how she acts, it's like, no.
I wonder if the point is to showcase that immaturity, because like when the show opens, they talk about how she has like no romantic experience whatsoever. So like that doesn't mean you're stupid about it though.
Yeah. No, it just like like we know she's just a person who loves hard, because prior to she's been in like one other relationship prior to An Bo-hyun's character, and when she was with that person, it was another relationship where she is the one giving more than she should, and the other person's not reciprocating it anymore. And so like she just loves really hard, and like, you know, we all know somebody who's like that at one point or another. And so it's just like, just because you love hard doesn't make you immature. It's just you rule with this emotion, and it makes you do things that you're like, rationality, where did you go? So yeah, I agree. It just because it shows, like, it's supposed to show that immaturity, but
yeah, but it doesn't have to be
it, yeah, you're not dumb just because you're immature.
Lack of experience doesn't mean like you don't know what you're doing. By the time you're that age, you should understand that not focusing on a problem doesn't make it go away.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Not to shut off your reason for any reason.
Yeah, like, no, honestly, that's a reason why reason is there. Reason is supposed to make you think clearly. You're supposed to, yes, go through your emotions and, you know, fight off different ones, but at the end, reason is what will lead you into the decisions that you're going to be making. And she doesn't make smart ones up until, you know, like, are there certain ones that she makes like, oh, okay, but other than that, like, no. So let's see what season 2's, just how that's gonna play out, and how she's gonna end up. I do speculate. I'm like, ooh, is there gonna be a love triangle? Is he gonna come back?
If he does, you better kick him out. Anytime one of those motherfuckers comes back,
like, no,
absolutely
like,
not. There are no second chances in this house.
No, absolutely not. No, unless there's like an absolute good reason. And
this man does not have any good reasons, so absolutely not. Get him out.
No, like, we will, if we were friends, both me and Roxy are like, what the fuck are you doing? He is terrible as a boyfriend and a lover. He may be good to look at, but no, he did nothing for you. He did nothing except give you this temporary moment of happiness and joy and fun. But even then, you had to warm up to what he did. No, girl, don't do it.
We get so intense about this.
Yes, don't do it. Like, and that's why I think that's why we saved it for the very last, because it was just like, oh, there's so much thoughts, so much emotions. So
we'll see with season 2. All right, I think we're good to wrap up. Any final thoughts?
Just let us know what other K-dramas you want us to watch, what we should like, open to recommendations. Would be down to do another episode like this where we just talk about, like, you know, K-dramas, because we don't do it often on this podcast. And so I think if you want to let us know what we should be watching next, that would be super cool. Just drop it in social media, anywhere, in the comments. Love to hear it. I hope at least, maybe not Yumi Cells, but for the two dramas that we watch, I hope you guys, if you haven't watched it already, that you check them out, because they were really good in my opinion. So yeah, just let us know. I'm already watching. I'm back on that field of, I'm watching K-dramas again. So I'm going to go through that field. So I would love to watch more and down to talk about more in the future. But yeah, that's it for me.
I agree with everything you said. So if you do have any recommendations, don't hesitate to reach out to us on our social media platforms. We do have a K-drama column that comes out every other week. So if you're looking for recommendations on what's going on now, you can definitely check that out on our website. And we are available, I should say. We are available on all platforms, so give us a follow and don't forget to leave us a rating and review. Mm-hmm. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to catch our next episode. So this has been the Krazecast, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.